The key to emergent learning is that we don't learn simply as individuals. We come together to learn across organizations and within organizations with groups of people. Learning will accelerate if we share as individuals what we have learned with other people so they don't make the same mistakes. There are 3 practices within emergent learning. One is the before and after action review. The second is framing questions, and the third is the emergent learning table. I'll go into each one of those in a little more depth. So a framing question is simply, what does it take to do something in such a way that our outcome that we desire occurs? The framing question behind our Moonshot Literacy movement is, what does it take for 90% of 3rd graders to be reading on grade level in such a way that we create literate, creative, compassionate citizens who improve our world? And that question allows everybody in the community to step into that problem they can help solve. So, what we've learned is we need people starting at birth, focusing on how to get kids ready. We need parents engaged, speaking and talking and singing to their kids. That education starts well before 5 years of age in kindergarten. When you ask a question like that, people begin to understand the answer and the complexity of it, and they step in where it matters to them and to their personal passions and to their organizational missions. Another important practice or discipline within our emergent learning is the before and after action review. Both of them are a simple set of 4 questions before any event is undertaken or any initiative is undertaken that you would ask. What are the intentions of this event or initiative? What will it look like if we achieve success? What challenges are likely to get in our way? And what have we learned in the past to solve them? Those are the 4 before action review questions, and the after action review questions, what actually happened versus our intentions. Importantly, what caused those results, both the good and the bad. And then what would we sustain or improve? And when is the next time that we can use this learning and put it into practice? So before and after action reviews can be used for anything, any event, any initiative you're undertaking. They were discovered by the Army in the Vietnam War. The front line would often get disconnected from their commanders and they needed to know what to do. So the before and after action reviews are a way of creating clarity about intentions, and so that the people on the front lines could really make good decisions even if they weren't in connection with their commanders. So when we use this in education, obviously the stronger leaders in any sphere can be clear about what their vision is and communicate that to the entire group, whether it's teachers, principals, parents, and both of them are reliant upon taking action and learning from that action. A third practice within emergent learning is called the emergent learning table. And the table really makes explicit what goes on in the brains of great decision makers. When any of us are really making a great decision, there's 4 things we do. And those 4 things are just divided up into 4 quadrants on the table. We take an action. It could be a baby taking a step. And they may succeed in taking step 2, or they may fall on their face. So the next thing they do is they look, did I succeed or not? They look at the data. Did it work or not? And they build off of that. They get insights off of whether it worked or whether it didn't. And they get insights about what would need to change in order to make the walking for the baby more successful, or the initiative that you're putting in place more successful. And then they would create a hypothesis for action the next time. So the baby might say, okay, I can't move both feet at the same time. I have to move one at a time. And then immediately move from that hypothesis for action into actually trying to take another step, another action. So those are the 4 pieces of the emergent learning table. It's very cyclical. It's that you try something, you look at the data, try to then grab insights from the data, and then you create new hypotheses for action. And it's this cycle of learning, explicit learning, that when done well helps organizations and communities move forward. And I guess I've run into a lot of people who say, well, I am an emergent learner. That's how I make my decisions. And that's true. The biggest challenge to our community has been that in emergent learning, you understand that we're dealing with complex problems, frequently things that have never been accomplished before. So the learning can't just take place in my mind or in somebody else's mind. It has to be done collaboratively. We have to share our learning across organizations and across communities. So the EL tables are done together in large groups so that people can learn quickly from each other.